in-entertain po namin kayo. No? Ngayon na po kayo nag-appear. Nandito po at pinapakinggan mo namin yung siya sabi. So, as far as due process concerned, pagiging nyo naman, hindi nyo pwedeng, hindi na fall short. As far as due process concerned. And on section 13, yes, we were allowed to speak. And counsel is allowed under the rules as long as it's allowed by the committee. Maraming salamat at kayo nung pangatlong may tanong lang po pala ako. Kayo po pangatlong abogado, Atty. Rolex, Atty. Mark, kayo na po. Kayo po ba yung abogado lang, hindi po kayo direktor ng POJC?
Hindi po. Actually, I became the General Counsel, Your Honor, of Pastor Quiboloy back in 2021, if memory serves, Your Honor.
Okay.
So this is not my first time lawyer for Pastor Quiboloy. And of course, again, Mr. Chair, we are grateful for the opportunity. That's why you still get my vote.
Thank you very much. Before we will have to go to vote soon, just ask, Atty. Gutierrez, the proponent of the bill, Atty. Gutierrez.
Just to add to the point, just to for the consideration of the body, because I agree with what Congressman Pimentel mentioned that the contempt order that we are considering is could be based on sole absence alone. However, I would just like to add for our
Congress
that there are still material questions as to 2019, 2020, and 2021, which I believe would warrant the attendance. Now, his choice not to attend the presupposed trend that they already know what we will ask. I would have to share my skepticism on it because precisely, as I mentioned, we still have material questions during the duration of his being executive pastor. So something lang po for the body to consider. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Arlene process.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, isa po kasi ako sa mga nag-request, di ba? So, rejoinder lang po kahit sa issue ng contempt. Chair, for kayo pumayag, it has not been our procedure ng mga nakaraan. Kaya gusto ko lang I will join our again motioning for the contempt of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Arlene Rosas. The parliamentary status is that there is a motion by the Honorable John P. Pimentel, duly seconded by the Honorable J.D. Suarez, the Honorable Jude Sidre, the Honorable Franz Castro, the Honorable Arlene Rosas, and of course, our Senior Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Don Gonzales. That be the case, there's a motion. Duly seconded. Any objections? The chair hearing no objections on a unanimous vote. The Honorable Pastor Quiboloy is cited for contempt. You now proceed. You now proceed to the interpretation. So,
contempt na.
that being that, we now proceed to the interpretation. We can now discuss the so we will now proceed to another subject matter.
Naabutan natin, guys.
This is the House Bill number 9710. Consec, please read the bill. The title of the bill.
House Bill number 9710, introduced by Representative Ramon Rodrigo L. Gutierrez. Titled an Act revoking the legislative franchise granted to Suara Soup Major Corporation operating under the business name Sunshine Region Network International, repealing for the purpose Republic Act number 11422 entitled an act renewing for another 25 years the franchise granted to Suarez Media Corporation in the Republic Act Number 8102 entitled an act granting the Suarez Media Corporation of the Philippines a franchise to construct, install, operate, and maintain for commercial purposes radio and television broadcasting station in the Philippines and for other purposes.
So doon na sa pag-cancel na ng franchise.
First, the author, the Honorable Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez. For House Bill number 9710.
Mr. Chair, although we've already, this representation already sponsored this bill, may I likewise again move that my explanatory note be adopted as the sponsorship speech for this group.
We now proceed to the discussion. Any questions, Honorable Rodrigo?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to ask a few questions to our resource persons. Mr. Chair, tanong po sa KOJC. Dahil ngayon di ba merong executive pastor na
Si Manuel pala,
siya ay,
Raul Manuel.
siya din yung tinuturing na head ngayon ng Suarez. Am I correct, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, can I ask you a question? Congressman, Mr. Chair. Maybe
I'm sorry. The Honorable Mark Tolentino.
No, yes, I'm a lawyer, Mr. Chair. Not a
Yes.
congressman. Mr. Chair, the answer to that, Mr. Chair.
Welcome back to the committee, Attorney
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the question of the Honorable Manuel, Mr. Chair, the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ is not part of the day-to-day operation of SMNI. But of course, with respect to Suarez Media Corporation, the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, we consider them as the investor. That's why first, the subscription of Suarez Media Corporation in 2019 started only as 50 million subscription. Now, it's already 650 million, Mr. Chair. So if I may explain, Mr. Chair, take also the manifest, Mr. Chair, that we furnish a copy of our position paper to all the members of the committee. Our position letter dated today, Mr. Chair, March 12, 2024, Mr. Chair. May I furnish this to the Honorable Committee, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Attorney Mark, kayo naman nandito naman kayo simula nung nakikita natin November. Bakit naman po papadala niyo yung kopya niyo on the day of the hearing sa hapon pa? Akala po ng akin, 12:30. Sa 30 minutos, panuna yung pagkaralan lahat po.
Now, it is just our position, Mr. Chair. It refers only to our answer in our hearing, Mr. Chair. But we put that on writing, Mr. Chair. So, we furnish all.
So you're not saying anything new in this letter? Kasabi niyo lang po lahat.
Yes,
Sinulat
Mr. Chair.
siya.
This is
Kasi
a reiteration of our position, Mr. Chair.
yes. So this is what this letter contains. Yung tapos mayroon pa kasama USB.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
From the very start, Mr. Chair, since November last year, and this is our
So
position.
anyway, we will have to validate this against the records of the committee, okay? Kung talaga ito po yung mga sinabi, ito po talaga ang mga ginawa niyo. The Honorable Manuel, Mr. of the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, ulit clarify ko, ang executive pastor as corporation sole ay investor siya sa Swanso. Am I correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, Mr. Chair, can the attorney explain ano ang function ng isang corporation sole?
When you say corporation sole, I already explained that in our previous hearing, Mr. Chair. The owner of the business part. Pinagkatiwala owner are the members of the religious organization.
Mr. Chair, ano-anong properties ang pinag-uusapan natin? Ano-anong properties ito ng KOJC na
I respectfully request that the question be reviewed, Honorable Member.
nasagot na ang secretary ng lahat ng properties ng KOJC? I was asking ano-anong mga properties ang pinag-uusapan natin dito?
Mr. Congressman, marami po kasi we will be happy to furnish the committee with a list of the properties. But offhand, I would say properties dedicated to the propagation of the faith. There are houses of worship,
Contempt na po.
places of worship, residences of the workers for the church, and others of a similar nature, Honorable Manuel.
Mr. Chair, maliban sa executive pastor, meron bang iba pang trustee or may similar function sa pag-handle ng ganitong mga properties ng KOJC?
As a corporation sole po, yung executive pastor or elder or basically po, whoever heads the church is the sole trustee and administrator of the properties of the corporation sole, Mr. Congressman.
And sa ngayon, Mr. Chair, again, I clarify that would be Executive Pastor Marlon Rosete.
Yes po, Marlon, ako po, si Dr. Marlon Rosete po is the President of SMNI, Your Honor.
Okay, na-announce po na ang properties ay former President Rodrigo Duterte. Pero Mr. Chair, ngayon we hear from the legal counsel of KOJC na may task to administer the properties would be the executive pastor. So Mr. Chair, ngayon there are conflicting accounts. At I think this causes confusion dito sa ating committee dahil kung sa bahagi po nila hindi malinaw sino talaga yung nag-administer ng properties. Ang dating sa akin, Mr. Chair, parang placeholder lang yung mga tao ito. Yung pagkakaroon ng corporation soul, sino yung nakalagay dyan. It seems na hindi talaga sila yung nagmamanage ng mga properties na dahil yung POJC ay hindi naman ay investor doon sa Suarez na siya din nagmamanage ng SMNI. And Mr. Chair, I think this opens more questions sa ating committee dahil I think wala namang recent issues na involved si executive pastor. Kung merong involved sa paradigmas ngayon, Mr. Chair, that would be Apollo Quiboloy. Pero bakit merong pag-transfer ng responsibility from the executive pastor as the property administrator to former President Rodrigo Duterte? Actually nakakalito, Mr. Chair, and I think this compels the committee to go beyond yung data kung sino lang yung mga taong nilalagay ng OJC o ng Suarez sa kanilang mga official records na binabasa nila sa securities.
Si Congressman Arjo.
Yun lang muna sa ngayon, Mr. Chair.
Very briefly, Mr. Chair. Yes, very briefly, Mr. Chair. When we say administrator, Honorable Manuel, that is the concept of trustee of the properties. The executive minister remains trustee. But however, under the general rules of administration in the civil code, when read together with the provisions of the revised corporation code, of course, the executive minister or the elder or the archbishop, etc., of any religious organization cannot be expected to comply with the spiritual aspect of running a corporation, so a religious corporation, and the day-to-day administration. And the revised corporation code itself, Honorable Manuel, states that there may be schemes in order to assist the trustee in administering. Therefore, the short answer is that the executive minister remains trustee, but in running the affairs of the...
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Point of order. Mr. Chair, point of order. Yes, Mr. Chair, point of order.
The Honorable Franz Castro.
Yeah. Kasi kanina pa, Mr. Chair, we have resolved na siya na yung sasagot for Pastor Quiboloy. Kasi nag-explain na siya eh, yung tungkol doon sa trust, yung pag-turnover ni Pastor Quiboloy kay former President Duterte. Hindi pa siya, Mr. Chair,
Po.
Ganyan po
Well,
kaya, Mr. Chair.
the chair allowed
Yeah.
already,
Yeah, so can we
according to
have
Marshall.
him,
Yes.
So maybe ask, attorney, kayo na po, attorney Topacio, kayo na po. Attorney Topacio na po. Okay, attorney Topacio, please raise your right hand. The Tomsec, please administer the oath.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth before this congressional hearings shall be done.
Okay, thank you.
And another question, Mr. Chair. Is he taking of oath as representative or general counsel of Quiboloy waive already the client to answer questions here?
Ano po tanong nyo?
So, ibig sabihin po ba yung pag-oath at pag-testify po ni Attorney Topacio ay wini-waive na natin?
Yung ano po?
Yung pagpunta ni Quiboloy
Hindi po.
dito?
We will be representative
So-
of Contempt and we will be asking for that he be,
Okay, so gusto lang po natin malinaw yun, ano, kasi ang tanong po kasi ni Honorable Manuel po ay yung tungkol sa pag-turn over po.
yes, he'll be requested, he'll be asked here
Okay.
by the committee. And that proper motion will be entertained in a little while, yes, thank
Okay,
you.
so hindi po yung sagot ni Atty. Topacio yung sasagot po sa
Opo.
mga tanong
Because marami pong
Yeah,
dapat
okay.
sagutin si Pastor Quiboloy, as explained earlier, na hindi po na kundi nga muna sagot
Yes,
dapat ni Rolex at Attorney Martin.
And in a proper time, Mr. Chair, I will also move to invite then former President Duterte kasi siya yung in-involve as of pinasahan ng proper time. Mr. Chair, in proper time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so next, any other member? The chair will recognize the Honorable Jose Esapino II of the First District of Agusan del Norte, the Honorable Jonathan Clement Avalos II of Fort Peace. He's here. Oh, welcome. And the Honorable Antonio Ferrer of the Fourth District of Cavite. Just to let everyone know that I've already signed the attendance this committee for the plenary. So it has been forwarded already to the majority for them. The Honorable
Mr. Mayor.
Please, right?
Likewise, sworn in. Because this is his first time also, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before
Yung pala yung pinaka-executive head ng SMNI.
Okay, Attorney Ambrosio.
As to the clarification with regards to the question of Congressman Manuel, so the scope of the appointment of former President PRRD is only in case of incapacity, disability, retirement, and other inability of the Board of Admin. So this is, the appointment was made by the current executive pastor and the Board of Administrators, that in case something might happen, the former president of PRRD will be able to manage the properties of the KOGC.
So, Attorney Ambrosio, this is contingent to if something happens to
Nangyari lang
To
pala.
the current executive pastor and to the Board of Administrators.
who is the executive pastor?
It was the discretion of
Yun pala.
the executive pastor and the Board of Administrators.
So kung may mangyari kay Jacobo, dun pa lang si
The management
Duterte.
of the properties of KOJC to former President Rodrigo Duterte.
If anything happens to, when you say anything happens, physically, may mangyayari po sa kanya.
This pertains to any inability, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yun pala yun.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Si Congressman
Yes.
Franz.
Honorable Fran.
Yes, I have a question to Pastor Senator Mr. Acobo. Ilan taon na po kayo?
I think, Your Honor.
Yeah, you look very fit. Si former President, ilan taon na po? More or less. 79. Kasi, Mr. Chairman, if I may, kasi meron po akong friend na, may edad na 60 plus, nagkaanak, okay? So yung mga kumpare niyang kinuha, may age bracket siya, ka-age niya, kumuha siya ng mas bata. Ano bang ibig sabihin dito? Ibig sabihin dito, yung mas bata and healthy, that can take care of his son. So yung sa akin, I'm just wondering now, bakit mas may edad na yung we can take over? Ano ba naging basis ng natin dyan?
Your Honor, pwede bang Bisaya lang mo, no? Kasubunan ko ang sulti para ma-express na ako kung gusto isulti. Naman siguro tayo mga congressman din ang makasapupot sa isulti.
Ganyan po. We will need
Interpreter.
Medyo nakaintindi naman ako kahit paano.
So you will need somebody to interpret.
Interpreter.
Mr. Chair, can I act as interpreter of Mr. Marlon?
Si Attorney Mark ang mag-interpret.
Attorney Mark, you will interpret sentence by sentence.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
I can also interpret for you.
Okay. Tuloy po kayo.
Pinalimanod ang hentang, Your Honor. No?
Ito ang sitwasyon, Your Honor.
Senator Congressman Pumare. Nagpipili na mo si former President PRP
Bakit?
ng mga administrator sa Kingdom Properties. Despite sa iyang edad,
Bakit pinili namin si
ang
PRP?
point ni mo, Your Honor, is
Bakit pinili namin si PRP?
Mr. Jacobo, please address your answer to the chair.
Please,
sorry po.
Bakit pinili namin si PRP despite sa kanyang edad?
Tungkol kay si former President Rodrigo Duterte, taas ang iyang eksperyensya, lawyer siya. Labaw sa tanan, suod siya ng higala sa Kingdom Ministry.
Pastor, interpreter.
Si PRP, taas yung kanyang experience, abogado po siya, then malapit na kaibigan siya sa ministry.
Muna ang reason, Your Honor.
Yun ang dahilan.
Salamat. Thank you very much to Pastor and Attorney Mark. Maraming salamat. Okay.
Sir Chair,
Yes.
related lang po dun sa tanong.
Yes.
So is former President Duterte member of the KOJC? At ano yung naging role niya po sa KOJC in the past?
Yun ang tanong.
And the rest of it?
Your Honor, dili siya member, pero ang iyang stand sa Kingdom Ministry is more than a member. Tungod kay ang iyang respeto sa ministry, taas tayo. Sukat pa sa sinugdan.
Hindi siya member ng ministry, but yung kanyang respeto at stand sa ministry is more than a member.
Salamat po. Okay. Tutok tayo. Thank you very much. Klaro na po tayo. Okay. We will recognize the Honorable Paduano. Then we will now go into we will proceed with further interpretation. The Honorable Paduano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to clear the previous motion, and I was supposed to dispute with regards to the contempt order, Mr. Chairman. We should have a second motion. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I move that we direct the Sergeant at Arms to coordinate with all enforcement agencies, particularly the PNP, to bring Pastor Quiboloy in the House premises. So, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion by the Honorable Carlos Paduano. Any second? Seconded by the Honorable J.J. Suarez, Honorable Pimentel, and the Honorable Senior Deputy Speaker Don Gonzales.
Yun na.
The challenging objection
Papa-aresto.
of the Honorable Paduano to ask the Sergeant of Arms to directing the Sergeant of Arms to bring Pastor Quiboloy to the House premises is hereby approved. We now proceed to the interpretation.
Just a follow-up.
The Honorable D.J. Suarez.
Insofar as the good attorney Topacio is law-abiding and has taken his oath as a lawyer, and insofar as you are going to see the good pastor tomorrow, maybe you can aid the sergeant of arms in the exercise of their duty. Kasi makikita naman kayo bukas, diba?
Well, with all due respect, that would be a conflict, Your Honor. I hope you will respect the lawyer-client relationship. But I can advise him accordingly, Your Honor.
I was just, under the impression that, of course, you being a lawyer and this being a lawful committee hearing, and what we did was we did the counsel law. We might want to extend your assistance, the exercise of the duties of the.
Yeah, Your Honor, I believe that this committee or the House of Representatives is possessed of sufficient power to enforce its orders even without the assistance of this humble representation. But as a lawyer, of course, I will always advise my clients in accordance to my training in the law, Your Honor. That much I can assure the Honorable.
Yun na.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Ferdinand Tapacio. Okay, any other question that any other member may have before we move for the we finally decide on this resolution. The Honorable Mix Urales is recognized. Attorney Mix.
Mr. Chair, just for the clarification of everyone, tama po ba na yung nakita po kasi natin sa news yung whole administrator. So right now, it's not in effect. Just to be clear, for
Papa-aresto
the
na.
body and the public that hindi ba
nauna na yung Congress.
administrator, Mr. Chair, yung mag-a-appoint po.
Yes. Well, as expressed by Attorney Ambrosio, who was under oath, that she is not yet the administrator as we speak, and it is contingent to anything that might happen to Ms. Arco.
Mr. Chair, if we could just have a copy of that also so that the committee will have a copy of whatever will happen since you executive passport naman of
Yes.
law and there's document pending. If we could have a copy of the document for the
Yes.
second one.
Attorney Ambrosio.
Your Honor, we will submit, Mr. Chair, to SEC na for the
Napapa-aresto na, Sir Conrado.
process. Ano po ba ang proseso ng pag-appoint ng administrator pagdating sa corporation soul? It's a different kind of corporation, it's a special kind of corporation na ang executive pastor lang naman ang mag-administer ng mga properties and manage for behalf of the members of the religious sect, Mr. Chair.
That's addressed to
The SEC.
NCC. You may reply.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. And to address the question of Honorable Morales, when an entity incorporates in the SEC as a corporation soul, in the articles of incorporation, they will already specify who is the executive pastor or the elder or the rabbi or the chief of that corporation soul.
Yes, Mr. Chair, with regard to appointing of an administrator, should the executive pastor be incapacitated? What is the process for, Mr. Chair?
Per our record, with regard to KOGC, on December 16, 2022,
Sorry, Mr. Chair, he's asking for a general process in relation to the KOGC.
a letter of appointment will be issued by the current executive pastor to his successor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to remind, since we're talking about the laws and the corporation code, given the gravity of what is happening with the media and everything, with regard to Section 111, also the revised corporation code, para lang umiwas po sa mga violations, Mr. Chair, in any encumbrance, selling, disposal of by an administrator or executive pastor, kailangan pa rin po ng court approval dito with regard to that. And I'm just more appealing na sana sumunod po ang KOJC, ang Suara Sumuguro, especially KOJC, sa mga ganitong aspeto so that we won't be looking into further violations, and should there be any change, again with the consent also of Congress. Ito po, Mr. Chair, just to raise it as a way of reminding lang po the corporations on their procedural aspects para wala na po, iwas na po sa mga violations na pwedeng mangyari po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vince Nograles. SEC, please take note of the statement of the Honorable Vince Nograles. Thank you. So, any other member that would like to speak for or against this measure? You have now the Honorable Lieutenant.
Yes, Mr. Chair, sorry, before we proceed, just a few questions. Like I mentioned, we had some material questions that were left unanswered in the previous deliberations, and we'd like to take a track of the theory of the good attorney Talasio that they might be able to answer po. So with the indulgence of this committee, may proceed in my interpretation of the executive pastor.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, may I request that perhaps is the Attorney Ambrosio capable of translating for Pastor Apopo? Yes. Okay, Mr. Chair. So that we keep it po within KOJC. While we no doubt appreciate the interpretation skills of the Filipino, but we would like to have a separate po, para we're not confused where
Jason,
KOJC ends and where SNI begins. So, Mr. Chair, may I ask the good Pastor Apopo, through the Attorney Ambrosio, in your JS papers, maybe begin, how long have you been with the KOJC?
Your Honor, sugod po sa Quiboloy po since 1985.
Your Honor,
Mamaya yung showbiz.
simula po ako
Kulitan tayo kay Lakay.
Tumagsama pastor since 1985.
Mr. Chair, I noticed the good pastor does not need a translator to understand my question. But,
Makasagot po,
okay.
okay, Your Honor, pero
You understand.
gusto
You
na
can
natin
express.
ma-express ang gustong isulti.
You would prefer not to express in another language, or you are unable of expressing in another language?
Mas prefer po nga musulti o Bisaya, Your Honor.
He refers to answer in Cebuano.
So, reference. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair, just for the record. So, Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask the good pastor. So, since 1985, but his appointment as executive pastor was on what date specifically?
Nagsugod ang ako ang pagkahimong executive pastor, Your Honor. At kung time na gipilapan na ako ang mga papers para sa Securities Exchange Commission.
Simula akong maging executive pastor na pinirmahan ko yung mga papers for the Securities and Exchange Commission.
That was December 19, 2022. O pagka sunod na tuig, January 4, 2023, i-aprobahan sa SEC ang pagkahimo ng executive pastor.
Started in December 19, 2022, and on January 4, 2023, it was approved by SEC. Your Honor, may I make a clarification? So, what Pastor Marlon is pertaining to is the amended articles of incorporation, since corporation souls are not required to submit general information sheets.
Okay, so we're now referring to the KOJC, Mr. Chair. But for the appointment, because, by the way, thank you, Pastor, for attending today. No, we would have hoped that you were with us from the start. But we were under the impression, I believe it was one of the representatives of the SMNI, that Pastor Acobo took over in 2021. How can we, 2021 to
2022, Your Honor.
2022, yung take over? So the mentioned appointment papers by Attorney Tolentino was based on what? Maybe ask Mr. Chair, the representative of SMNI.
Your statement, what you stated was 2021.
If I'm not mistaken, of course.
I have with me, Mr. Chair, the certificate of appointment of Brother Marlon B. Jacobo, signed by Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy, dated December 19, 2022.
Mr. Chair, can you ask the council?
Guys, balik ako ah.
If I recall correctly, the previous hearings, it was alleged that it was sometime in 2021. Maybe check with the records of the, maybe ask the committee to provide for the records with the appointment papers. That probably after na po, because there seems to be a...
Guys, magre-live ako ulit ah. Kailangan ko lang lumabas saglit.
I have to clarify.